I have been a theoretical physicist for well over 4 decades, and in all that time I have stared into the abyss of black holes, traced the birth of stars, and calculated the death of galaxies. But nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, prepared me for what I am about to tell you. Before we begin, I need you to do something for me. Comment your city name below and tell me, have you noticed anything unusual in the night sky lately? NASA is quietly monitoring reports from around the world, and your observation might be more critical than you realize. 3 months ago, something happened that sent shockwaves through every major space agency on this planet. It involved an object we have been tracking for years, an interstellar visitor known as 3I Atlas, a comet that entered our solar system from the vast darkness between the stars. But this isn't a story about a comet. This is a story about what happened when a fragment of that cosmic traveler broke away, defied every law of celestial mechanics we understand, and began moving toward Earth with what can only be described as intentionality. I want you to understand something before we go any further. When I say broke off, I don't mean it crumbled due to solar radiation or gravitational stress. I mean it separated cleanly, geometrically, as if severed by an invisible scalpel operating at the quantum level. The separation occurred at precisely 4:22 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time on September 17th. The fragment measured approximately 847 meters in length, roughly the size of 3 aircraft carriers stacked end to end, and its surface exhibited properties that should not exist on any naturally occurring celestial body. The discovery was made by Dr. Elena Vasquez at the Atacama Observatory in Chile. She was conducting routine spectroscopic analysis of 3I Atlas when her instruments detected an anomaly. The parent comet's light signature suddenly split into 2 distinct readings. At first, she thought it was an equipment malfunction. She recalibrated. She ran diagnostics. The reading persisted. Then she did what any good scientist would do. She called for independent verification. Within 6 hours, telescopes in Hawaii, South Africa, and Australia confirmed what she was seeing. A fragment had indeed separated from 3I Atlas. But here is where the story takes a turn into territory that makes even seasoned astrophysicists lose sleep. The fragment wasn't following a predictable trajectory. In our universe, when objects break apart in space, they follow ballistic paths determined by momentum, gravity, and the conservation of angular momentum. It is physics 101. It is reliable. It is mathematical. This fragment ignored those rules. It executed what can only be described as a course correction, a deliberate change in velocity and direction that required energy expenditure. Natural objects don't do that, spacecraft do that, probes do that, technology does that. NASA assembled an emergency task force within 18 hours. I was brought in as a consultant along with specialists in planetary defense, quantum mechanics, exobiology, and this detail still gives me chills, experts in artificial intelligence and machine consciousness. Why would NASA need AI specialists to analyze a piece of rock from interstellar space? That question haunted me during the entire flight to the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. The classified briefing took place in a windowless room 3 floors below ground level. 47 scientists, military personnel, and government officials sat in absolute silence as the data was presented. What we saw on those screens violated our understanding of natural phenomena so thoroughly that several colleagues simply refused to accept it. I watched a woman with 3 PhDs in astrophysics start to cry. Not from fear, but from the sudden crushing realization that everything we thought we knew about our cosmic isolation might be catastrophically wrong. The fragment was decelerating. Do you understand what that means? In the vacuum of space, objects don't slow down unless acted upon by an external force. The fragment was generating a counterthrust, shedding velocity in a manner that suggested controlled propulsion. The energy signature was unlike anything in our technological repertoire. No chemical rockets, no ion drives, no nuclear pulse systems. Whatever was slowing this object down operated on principles we have yet to discover. But the deceleration was only the beginning. The fragment's surface was emitting a signal, a repeating pattern of electromagnetic pulses in the X-ray spectrum. The pattern cycled every 11.34 seconds with atomic clock precision. It was mathematical, it was structured, it was without question artificial. I remember sitting in that briefing room, my hands trembling as I held the printout of the signal analysis. Beside me, Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a colleague I had known for 20 years, leaned over and whispered, "Michio, this is first contact. This is actually happening." I wanted to tell her she was wrong. I wanted to find a natural explanation. I wanted to preserve the comfortable illusion that humanity was alone in the universe, stumbling through the cosmos with no one watching. But the data doesn't care about our comfort. The data only tells us what is. The signal was decoded within 48 hours. I cannot tell you how they did it. That information remains classified, but I can tell you what it said. The message was simple, elegant, and more terrifying than any hostile transmission could have been. It was a warning, not a threat, a warning. There is a profound difference. The message contained mathematical proofs, star charts, and a timeline. It showed the galactic neighborhood, our solar system, and a radius of approximately 200 light years. Within that radius, the message identified 17 civilizations. 17, all extinct, all destroyed within the last 50,000 years, and all sharing one common characteristic. They had reached what the message called the threshold of universal awareness. I have spent my entire career studying the universe's fundamental laws. I have written equations describing the fabric of space-time. I have theorized about parallel universes and higher dimensions. But nothing in my education prepared me for the concept that technological advancement might be cosmically regulated, that there might be an intelligence or intelligences enforcing a galactic quarantine on species that evolve too quickly, that develop certain technologies that begin to manipulate the quantum substrate of reality itself. The message outlines specific technologies: artificial general intelligence, quantum consciousness transfer, matter replication at the molecular level, faster than light communication through quantum entanglement. Each of these technologies, according to the message, represents a threshold marker. A civilization that achieves 3 or more of these capabilities is flagged, monitored, and if they continue to advance without demonstrating what the message called cosmic responsibility, they are eliminated. Humanity currently possesses 2 of these technologies. We are working on the 3rd. The Fragment's trajectory was recalculated using this new information. The destination was confirmed with 99.97% certainty. It wasn't heading for a major city or a strategic military installation. It was heading for the James Webb Space Telescope's successor, a quantum observatory we haven't even announced to the public yet, currently under construction at the L2 Lagrange point, a facility designed to peer deeper into space and time than ever before, a facility that would allow us to detect and communicate with extraterrestrial intelligence across vast cosmic distances. The Fragment will arrive in 42 days. Let me be clear about what I am suggesting here. I am not talking about little green men and flying saucers. I am talking about something far more complex and infinitely more unsettling. I am talking about the possibility that the universe operates under a set of rules we never suspected, that evolution itself might be monitored, that technological development might be subject to external control, that there might be consequences for reaching too far too fast without understanding the cosmic responsibilities that come with that knowledge. Some of my colleagues believe the Fragment is a weapon, that it will destroy the quantum observatory and set our space program back by decades. Others think it is a communication device, that it will establish a direct link to whatever intelligence sent it. A few, and these are people whose opinions I deeply respect, believe it is a test, that how we respond to this Fragment will determine whether humanity is deemed worthy of survival or marked for extinction like the 17 civilizations that came before us. I have been asked by people in positions of unimaginable authority what I think we should do. Should we attempt to intercept the Fragment? Should we destroy it? Should we welcome it? I told them what any honest scientist would say. I don't know. Because this isn't a physics problem. This isn't an engineering challenge. This is a question about who we are as a species, what we value, and whether we are capable of the kind of collective wisdom that might allow us to survive contact with an intelligence that views us the way we view bacteria in a petri dish. The fragment contains materials that don't exist in any periodic table. Its surface exhibits quantum properties that should be impossible at macroscopic scales. When we directed radio telescopes at it, attempting to establish communication, the signal it was broadcasting changed. It incorporated elements of our transmission into its own pattern, as if learning our language in real time, as if studying us. There is something else, something I have been hesitant to mention because it sounds like science fiction, even to my own ears. 3 days after the fragment separated from 3I Atlas, people around the world began reporting dreams, vivid, recurring dreams featuring mathematical formulas, geometric patterns, and a recurring symbol, a spiral intersecting with a straight line dividing space into regions of light and shadow. These reports came from individuals with no scientific training, no knowledge of the fragment, no connection to each other. A truck driver in Montana, a school teacher in Tokyo, a fisherman in Madagascar, all describing the same symbol, all waking up with the same inexplicable certainty that something vast and incomprehensible was trying to communicate. NASA has a team analyzing these reports, trying to determine if there is any validity to what seems like mass hysteria. But I have seen the symbol. It appears in the fragment signal embedded in the mathematical structure of the message. It is a marker, a signature, perhaps even a name, and it is being projected directly into the consciousness of certain individuals through mechanisms we cannot begin to understand. This suggests that the fragment isn't just a physical object. It is a node in a network that spans the galaxy and possibly beyond, a network that can interface directly with biological consciousness, that can plant ideas and images into the minds of beings millions of light years away. If that is true, then first contact didn't happen 3 months ago when the fragment separated from 3I Atlas. First contact happened the moment the first human dreamed that symbol. I lie awake at night thinking about those 17 extinct civilizations. I wonder what they looked like, what they believed, what technologies they developed that marked them for elimination. Were they aggressive? Did they build weapons that threatened galactic stability? Or were they simply too curious, too ambitious, too eager to pull back the curtain and see what lay beyond their cosmic horizon? And I wonder if we are any different. Humanity stands at a precipice. We have artificial intelligence systems that are beginning to exhibit emergent properties we don't fully understand. We have quantum computers that manipulate reality at the subatomic level. We have CRISPR technology that allows us to edit the genetic code of life itself. We have dreams, increasingly tangible dreams, of becoming a multi-planetary species, of spreading throughout the solar system and eventually beyond. These ambitions are beautiful. They represent the best of what we are, curious, innovative, relentless in our pursuit of knowledge and expansion. But what if that relentlessness is precisely what marks us as a threat? The fragment will reach Earth's orbital space in exactly 42 days. Every major government on this planet is preparing for that moment. Contingency plans have been drafted. Emergency protocols have been activated. The public is being kept in the dark, fed stories about routine space operations and scientific missions, while behind closed doors, humanity's brightest minds are grappling with questions that have no easy answers. Do we have the right to take risks that could endanger our entire species? Do we have the right to develop technologies that might violate cosmic regulations we never knew existed? Who gets to make these decisions? And what gives them that authority? I don't have answers. I only have questions and an overwhelming sense that we are standing at the edge of something profound. A moment that will define not just this generation, but the entire future trajectory of human civilization. The fragment is still broadcasting its signal. It hasn't wavered. It hasn't stopped. Every 11.34 seconds, it sends out its mathematical warning, its catalog of extinct civilizations, its reminder that the universe is not the empty playground we imagined it to be. And somewhere in a facility you will never hear about, scientists are working around the clock to decode the deeper layers of that message, to understand what comes next, to prepare for the possibility that in 42 days, everything changes. I think about Carl Sagan, who once said that the cosmos is within us. that we are made of star stuff, that we are a way for the universe to know itself. It is a beautiful sentiment. But what if the universe doesn't want to be known? What if there are secrets that carry consequences for the knowing? What if consciousness itself is not the gift we always assumed it was, but rather a test, one that most species fail? These are the thoughts that keep me awake. These are the questions that haunt me as I watch the fragment draw closer day by day, hour by hour, second by second. I am telling you this not to frighten you, but because you have a right to know. You have a right to understand that we live in a universe far stranger and more dangerous than we ever imagined. That there are forces at work beyond our comprehension, monitoring our development, measuring our progress against standards we never agreed to. That humanity's future might not be in our hands at all, but rather subject to the judgment of intelligences so advanced that we appear to them as we appear to ants, barely conscious, operating on instinct, unaware of the vast structures that govern our existence. The fragment contains knowledge. That much we know. Whether that knowledge is a gift or a sentence, we will discover soon enough. But I want you to think about something. I want you to consider the possibility that we are not alone in this universe, because the universe won't allow true isolation. That the moment a species develops the technology to detect others, they become part of a network, a galactic community bound by rules we are only beginning to glimpse. And that our admission into that community comes with a price we may not be willing to pay. In 42 days, we will know. In 42 days, the fragment will arrive, and whatever intelligence sent it will make its intentions clear. We will either be welcomed into the cosmic fold, or we will take our place alongside those 17 extinct civilizations, a cautionary tale for the next species that reaches too far, too fast, without understanding the weight of what they were reaching for. I have dedicated my life to understanding the universe. I have written books about the future of humanity, about our destiny among the stars, about the glorious possibilities that await us as we evolve and expand. I still believe in those possibilities, but I also understand now that the path forward is far more treacherous than I ever imagined, that there are guardians and gatekeepers, rules and regulations, tests and trials that we must navigate if we hope to survive. The question isn't whether we are alone in the universe. We know now that we are not. The question is whether we are worthy of the company we are about to keep. Follow this channel as we continue decoding the universe's final warnings, as we track the fragment's approach, as we uncover the deeper layers of the message it carries, because whatever happens in 42 days will reshape human civilization. And you deserve to witness it, to understand it, to be part of the conversation about what it means to be human in a universe that has been watching us all along. So I ask you again, have you noticed anything unusual in the night sky? Have you had the dreams? Have you felt the presence of something vast and ancient turning its attention toward our tiny blue world? Because if you have, you are not alone. Millions around the world are experiencing the same phenomena, the same symbols, the same growing certainty that we are on the threshold of something that will change everything. And in 42 days, we will discover whether that change is the beginning of humanity's greatest chapter or the final entry in a story that ends the way so many others have ended, in silence, in darkness, in the cold mathematics of cosmic regulation. What do you think is on that fragment? What do you think it wants? And more importantly, what do you think we should do when it arrives?